What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and this is Ghost Recon Future Soldier on PC. Yes, an Ubisoft title on PC. That means there's got to be something wrong with it, because, well, they can't do it right. And there is something wrong with it, and I will definitely be talking about that in the second half of the video. But first I want to hit on the good part of this game, because there is a lot to like about this game that almost offsets the bad parts. However, the bad parts really need to be fixed. However, I think the bad parts can be fixed. So, we'll go ahead and jump right in. First, let me say I'm not one of those guys who's going to go, oh, this isn't exactly like the original Ghost Recon, so it has to suck. I'm not playing it ever. Can die in a fire. I'm not going to do that. I'm not a huge Ghost Recon fan. I have played a couple games in the series, but it by no means is, my series. So, that's my thoughts on that, but the gameplay in terms of single player is pretty freaking awesome in the sense that it really does walk a nice line between the stealthy actions, which, honestly, this game feels best when you're playing it stealthy and, the missions are stealth-oriented. That said, there are definitely times where, obviously, shit hits the fan and then you gotta shoot your way out, which, is obviously, a separate type of fun, Just playing everything stealthy, it gets kind of old quick because you're not really doing too terribly much. It's more tactical, more waiting, more boring, to be perfectly honest. And this would be a good time to throw a frag right into that group, but there's a challenge. And they do add challenges into these missions, and they're actually kind of fun to go after, which is really rare in video games anymore, where challenges are often just absolutely stupid or annoying. I actually feel like I want to try and complete these challenges, but it does walk the line successfully between stealthy and actiony to the point where just as you think you're getting comfortable, all sneaky-like and everything, it picks up the pace a little bit. Some missions are obviously a little bit stealthier than others. Some of them are, much more straightforward. But again, that extra variance makes things much more fun, in my opinion, because it keeps you interested and on your toes in terms of, what's going on next. You're not getting used to playing in just one style, which I definitely like. I know some people say, oh, I just want to do stealth all the time, and I can't. I'm not digging it too terribly much. Oh, there is one really annoying gameplay feature, and that is this diamond formation thing coming up. It just takes you right out of the game, even though it sticks you into the game on a closer level, but it's just like, yeah, I don't feel like I'm part of this squad anymore. It's just like, bullet time! Yeah, let's just shoot people! Yeah, I got my pistol cruising around, people can't shoot me, and look at that guy, I knew he was coming out of a shipping container. That's literally how I feel when this happens, but anyways, on to the bad portion, because I think you guys understand by now that this game is pretty awesome and does have a lot of cool features and is very fun to play, very exciting to play, so much so that I already pretty much know I'm going to do another playthrough probably right after I finish up my first playthrough, and I'm probably just going to use pistols and shotguns only just for the hell of it. Why not? Sounds like fun, does it not? That's the kind of thing that this game brings that most single-player games don't bring anymore, which I'm finding quite enjoyable. But anyways, on to the bad portion. Obviously, this is an Ubisoft game on PC. That alone is bad enough right there, because honestly, I hate Ubisoft. They're probably worse than EA, in my opinion, largely because of the fact that they are absolute douchebags and insist that we are all pirating their games, when in reality, the issues I'm about to mention here are probably the reason why people are pirating their games. First of all, the most obvious issue was right after I installed this game, I fired the game up to go, shoot me some bad guys and everything, get my ghost camo on, and I had no mouse. Yeah, the game automatically defaults to wanting to use a 360 controller. That is completely stupid. The logic behind that decision, I don't understand it. Maybe they were thinking it was smart, or maybe it was just a design oversight, but how did someone not notice that when the game was being tested? Like, is everyone working at Ubisoft a console gamer and just thinks that a PC is a console and they can't use a mouse? I don't understand how that happens in a PC game. You know, there's also the lack of dedicated servers in multiplayer, which is a big one. It really is quite bad. Now, that said, you know, it is what it is. Maybe they'll get changed or something, or someone will hack in a better way, but that's not likely to ever happen. As well as the next one, the graphics are absolute poo-poo. They really are. Now, that wouldn't be that bad if the performance, the frame rate was, you know, fairly easy to maintain and stable and nice and consistent and quality, you know, nice and high frame rates, always nice. But instead, here's what happens to my frame rate as I play this game. First mission starts out capped at 65 frames per second through my NVIDIA drivers. Second mission ends up being at like 45 frames per second. My next one was at 34. Then my next one was at like 23. It just kept going down and down and down and down, no matter what was happening on screen. It did not matter. If I was sitting in a menu, I'd still be getting 23 frames per second, which on my system seems pretty stupid. I mean, well, it's definitely not the greatest system ever conceived. The fact that I was getting 65 frames per second just about 15 minutes earlier kind of makes me wonder. Yeah, Ubisoft, your game has problems. You got a good game here. You really do. But how do you fail at making a PC game this badly? Console ports are one thing, but when they're console games that just happen to be able to have a disc put on a PC, which is really all this is. I mean, it's like they didn't even try. They were like, yeah, this is exactly the same, to be perfectly honest. So much so that we couldn't even change the buttons around. Like, why is it telling me to press LB for a frag grenade? Left button? Okay, that shoots my gun. Was it really too hard to type F there? Could they not take like 2 seconds to change that? Really? I mean, come on, Ubisoft. This is why people pirate your games. This is why you guys absolutely suck. Because you make decent games, but you fail at the simple things. So, bye.